KBG, what it do, man? We got another vid. We got some Nick Crowley. We got YouTube's darkest channels 3.
Yes, we
Y'all
do.
requested us to do. You probably forgot. You probably think we forgot about it, but we
didn't forget.
We got a list. We ain't forgetting about the fam, man. Let's go ahead and tap into it. Snack up, pour your wine, get your dinner going,
and get relaxed and sit
relax,
back.
man. We the fam. Let's get it.
I'm so sorry that I've done this. I want you to know that you mean everything to me.
See how mild and good tasting a cigarette can be.
Been the creepiness.
Hey guys, what's up? It is Harley Dilly.
Our first channel, like many others we've discussed before, doesn't look like much at a glance. It's an account run by a young boy named Harley Dilly, which served as an outlet for him to post videos about his life, his favorite video games, and even the occasional live stream. And quite honestly, the majority of this YouTube channel seems completely normal. But when looking at this content closer, it becomes more and more apparent that there was darkness lurking behind the scenes. Darkness that would become even more apparent as in December of 2019, Harley Dilly would vanish.
But first, a heartbroken mother waiting for her missing son to walk back into her arms.
Tonight marks 7.
We saw this on the other.
Somebody.
Yeah, it's something that we react to, and we saw his story.
I was kind of in my mind. I was like,
right.
Look familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Days since the disappearance of 14-year-old Harley Dilly.
That was sad, man.
Like many kids his age, Harley was interested in video games, such as Roblox and Madden, and he had been posting videos of himself playing these games since the young age of 10 years old. Over time, Harley would begin to show his audience more and more about his life, with topics ranging from his hobbies to his recent performances at school. And even through this, there was nothing that really seemed to hint at anything dark happening in Harley's life. But over time, a clear trend starts to emerge within these videos, and that is the fact that Harley and his mother would frequently get in arguments.
So yesterday, well actually today, my mom and I got into an argument because I didn't want to walk to school. Because I live like 4 blocks and it's like 34 degrees.
You got a valid point though.
This is something mentioned multiple times throughout these early videos, and it's nothing all that surprising. I mean, after all, most kids will argue with their parents, and it's likely that Harley was using his channel as an outlet to express his frustrations. But any idea of this being your typical family bickering would soon be thrown out the window in October of 2018, when Harley would hold a now-deleted live stream titled, "I'm Scared."
What's up? It is Harley Dilly. Probably one of my worst days of my life. My mom wanted me to go with her to go get a friend. And I said, I don't want to. I have work to do, so I want to go home. We argued for about a good 5 minutes. Then she snapped. She said she was going to call police, and she said she already did. And she locked me out of the house, so right now I'm outside.
That's crazy,
The
man.
house is locked. I haven't ate anything, and I still haven't even got to get my work done. My mom's gone. She won't answer the phone. I legit was scared.
I wouldn't lock my kid up.
You no matter how mad or whatever you get.
Exactly.
Do that to your child, lock him out.
Yeah.
Then he had a valid point about that long walk to school, and it's real cold. If you can take him to school, take him to school.
Yeah.
Video, we see Harley outside in the cold as he explains that his mother had threatened to call the police on him over an argument that the two had had. On top of this, his mother also locked him outside of the house without any food or water on a frigid October night. Now clearly these aren't really healthy things for his mother to be doing, especially given the fact that at this time, Harley was merely 12 years old. And this extreme punishment came from a situation that didn't seem all that bad. The whole situation is a major red flag that's made all the more concerning after Harley says the following line.
I just want you guys to wish me good luck because the future could hold bad things for me.
Damn, bro.
I don't want to find out what that could mean.
Damn.
The relationship between Harley and his mother clearly comes across as toxic within this video, and this was far from a one-time thing. In fact, in details that would later emerge, it would be revealed that Harley's mother had actually called the police on him on 5 separate occasions, one of which coming when he was only 10 years old.
Come on.
Now you might take this information and just assume that Harley was a poorly behaved kid. However, in actuality, Harley had ADHD as well as high-functioning autism, 2 disorders that can cause hyperfixation, outbursts, and many of the behaviors that had led to all of these family arguments. And in these situations, Harley is practically powerless to stop his own outbursts or destructive tendencies. And it's really up to his mother to understand this and find a way to help him with these habits. But rather, it's made clear that she would punish him instead. And it's important to add that with these outbursts, I haven't seen anything stating that they were violent or anything physical. Rather, it just seems that they were merely occasional behavioral issues. And this friction-filled relationship extends past just Harley and his mother. On one particular video, we can hear Harley's father, Marcus, yelling and screaming in the background at Harley's mother and 4-year-old sibling because the young child had spilled their drink.
So many kids grow up in these toxic households.
We didn't see this part.
My dad's being an asshole right now.
It's sad kids grow up in houses like that.
Now time would go on and these slight moments of concerning behaviors would show up here and there, but for the most part went unseen from his channel. Harley would eventually switch to a brand new page in 2019 called Harley Dilly 2.0, where he continued posting similar content until eventually, on December 10th, 2019, when he would post a typical looking Madden Mobile gameplay video. A video that would turn out to be one of the darkest on the channel, not because it showcased any family fighting or anything along those lines, but because it would prove to be the last video that Harley would ever make. 1 week later, on December 19th, 2019, Harley would complain of an upset stomach and ask his mother if he could stay home from school. She would not allow him to, however, telling him to, quote, "get your ass to school." And so he left the house, walking towards the school as he always did. Only this time, he wouldn't make it there. Day would turn to night, and not only had Harley not shown up to school, but he wasn't at his home either. And to make matters worse, it was yet another freezing cold night. Still, Harley's parents did not seem overly worried, as they would end up waiting until the next morning to report their son as missing. Harley's mother, Heather, would...
What? See, we didn't get this information from the last video or whatever, but they waited till the next
day
to report their son missing?
Even though in some places still say, 24 hours, give them 24 hours.
That's a child.
Still, that's a child, but they still say that, but still, you're going to make an attempt to still call or put somebody kind of on alert that my child is missing.
That's a child. That's Amber. That's an automatic Amber alert right there.
Yeah.
That's not like an adult, teenager, or whatever. That's...
Yeah. They didn't care. They don't really care about them.
Oh my God.
Till the next morning to report their son as missing. Harley's mother, Heather, would take to Facebook in a now deleted post begging people to help find her son. But days would quickly pile up into weeks with no sign of the 14-year-old boy. As search efforts ramped up and the story became national news, people began to stumble across Harley's channel, discovering videos like the I'm Scared livestream, calling many to question the parents' potential involvement in his disappearance, as it seemed throughout these videos that Harley had been potentially neglected or even abused. This theory was especially prevalent given the fact that they had waited a whole day to report Harley as missing, as well as the cold message that Heather had left Harley with that morning. However, most others believe that Harley had just ran away under the guise of going to school. Either way, authorities had no clue where Harley could have gone, as he just vanished without leaving a trail behind. However, on January 13th, 2020, this would all change. That day, police had searched an empty home across the street, which at the time no one was living in, as it served more as a summer home for the owners. When searching the house, police would find clothing that belonged to Harley, including his jacket, sweatpants, a single sock, and slip-on shoes. His glasses were also found lying there as well. It was clear that Harley had been in that home, but the rooms were all empty, and there was no sign of him at all, other than his clothing. It wasn't until investigators decided to look up the chimney that they would find what they were looking for. Lodged within the narrow, claustrophobic opening was Harley's decomposing body, trapped within its four walls. Coroners would later conclude that he had died of compressive asphyxiation, which happens when respiration is prevented by external pressure of the body. According to official reports, it was believed that Harley had attempted to get inside the locked house, knowing it was vacant, by going through the chimney. Right next to the house stood a telephone pole with prongs like a ladder that he would have likely taken to get up there. Once on the roof, Harley then supposedly attempted to slide down the chimney, an opening that was just 9 by 13 inches. But once halfway down, Harley would become stuck, having just enough room to shed his clothing in an attempt to have just a little bit more space. Unable to climb out of the chimney, and now in a minimal amount of clothing, Harley would have been stuck there in the cold, with virtually no hope of survival, as no one was home to hear his screaming. It would be within that chimney that Harley would slowly suffocate to death. It's a heartbreaking way to go, but even though this is the official conclusion, there are still many who point blame at the parents, with many even thinking that they were somehow involved. This is not only because of the circumstances seen throughout the channel, but also because of the behavior of Harley's father. While police were frantically searching for Harley, his father had allegedly bragged about the amount of coverage that this case was getting. He had also told his colleagues that he was taking out a life insurance policy on Harley just a week after he had disappeared, and 2 weeks before his body was found. And when describing the relationship that Marcus had with Harley, his own son, he described it as strained, saying, "We know each other, and there's a relationship there. He knows I'm his dad, and he's my son, but the relationship is rocky." Now, honestly, I've never heard a father talk like this about their own son, especially when that son was missing. And so I can understand why people have red flags about the parents, especially with the dark clues left behind on his channel. Plus a slew of other minor inconsistencies throughout the entirety.
And I think I said on the last one too, how that's my opinion, how I kind of think like the family probably could have had something to do with it. Because remember I said that he didn't want to go or whatever because of that. It was raining, wherever, cold, and they walked that far, and they made him go anyway. Like, what if they made him go just for something to do something to him? You know what I'm saying? To make it look like somebody did something. They made him go to school.
Right.
Like that's just, I don't know.
You just never know.
Not saying that's true, but just
put
the thought out there.
Plus a slew of other minor inconsistencies throughout the entirety of the case that truthfully would require a full documentary to go over every detail. But ultimately, there is no actual concrete physical evidence that proves that this was anything other than an accident. An accident spurred on as a combination of Harley's autism and his frayed relationship with his parents, a relationship that led to his eventual running away and ultimately his death. And seeing it play out through his channel is an eerie thing, as it subtly hints at the fate that would soon befall him. But in Harley's case, these clues were hidden, buried within a channel that was otherwise nothing out of the ordinary. But this isn't always the case. Sometimes you stumble across a dark channel with nothing to hide, and oftentimes those can be the most disturbing.
More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette.
This next channel takes us all the way back to the spring of 2006. A time that was essentially the dawn of YouTube. It's a period that has left behind some of the strangest contents on the site, and through it all was a single forgotten account known as Leather Smoke Me, a channel seemingly dedicated to smoking cigarettes. The page shows a man who rarely speaks, as he finds creative ways to smoke, with his very first upload being called Gas Mask Smokin'. The video itself is quite uneventful, as this man does exactly what the title says. He smokes a cigarette with the use of a gas mask.
Crazy word.
And though it's clearly a fairly extreme way of smoking, it's nothing compared to what we'd see in his following videos. Throughout his first year, this man would smoke cigars out of his nose, smoke multiple cigarettes in his mouth, and even a combination of both. It is definitely a strange thing to watch, especially all these years later. But in the realm of early YouTube, it was nothing all that crazy. However, as the years would go by, we would see Leather Smoke Me continue to push boundaries and find new ways to smoke more and more. At one point, he even built a contraption that allowed him to smoke 10 cigarettes at a time. It's really a shocking thing to see, just the way things progressed throughout the early years of this channel, especially knowing the effects that just smoking on an average basis can have on your body. But as time went on, his smoking habits weren't the only noticeable change. In the beginning, we can see that this man looks to be clearly an adult, but definitely isn't all that old. And just based off of the footage provided, he seems to be in decent health, or at least as healthy as someone can be with the lifestyle he was living. But as time goes on, his appearance starts to slowly change. He begins to look much older, with noticeable paleness and aging within his face. And along with this, his appearance becomes much more fragile, to the point where this man looks to be completely withered, even having a noticeable bandage on his neck in his later videos. And all this happened in the span of just a few years. Yet it seems like he's aged a lifetime. By 2011, Leather Smoke Me just looks like a shell of a person, but he just kept on smoking and uploading these videos. I mean, his upload frequency was pretty crazy, considering that in just 5 short years, he would post around 229 videos without ever taking any major time away. Something that is somewhat surprising, especially for a channel as small as Leather Smoke Me's. But nonetheless, he seemed to just love making these videos, and he just kept on smoking. Until video 195. In it, we see the unrecognizable man smoking a single cigarette while listening to Lady Gaga's Alejandro. By the ending, the song finishes, and he attempts to speak to his audience, but his words are impossible to understand. The video was posted on July 10th, 2011, with the caption, "Still here and still smoking." This would be the final video he'd ever post. The red flags here are obvious. An obsessive smoker who was withering before our eyes and just randomly stopped posting on a channel that was so clearly one of his life's passions. It's not hard to speculate on what became of him, and just by following the trail he left behind, the evidence confirms my dark suspicion. In a video uploaded on January 31st of 2011, we see this smoker looking especially ill, something that is confirmed by his description, where he says, "My return after cancer surgery." He elaborates more on this in the following video when he writes, "Hey guys, after a 6-month battle with oral cancer, I'm still here and still smoking.
Come on,
Dave." With this information, we know that Dave had cancer, a cancer likely caused by his rampant smoking. Yet even through a major surgery, he was still continuing to smoke these cigarettes, doing the very thing that likely led to his failing health in the first place. And as it turns out, the cancer would prove to be fatal. I wanted to let Dave's friends on here know that he passed away last night. I have good memories of our friendships over the last 11 years, and he will be missed. This comment, along with multiple others on the channel, addressed to Dave, all seem to confirm what many of us were thinking, that Dave had passed away after posting this final video. That Dave...
They just wish we were able to get together for another smoke mask session and drive around, windows up, in the truck, feeding our lungs. Are you crazy? That's the part of the problem right there. People like that you around, what caused him to keep doing what he was doing. That's why.
Right. Because a real friend was like, you know what? Let's stop doing this.
As much as he was smoking and how he was, they say smoke together with the smoke session with the windows up, feeding our lungs, man. Gonna have to find a smoke hood like the one we used the last time.
That's like, you don't care about life. Your friend.
Wow.
You know.
You want another session and feeding your lungs with the windows up in the truck. Let's go.
Smoking, putting a cigar on your nose, I've never seen that before.
Boy, that's...
Wow.
Yeah, he going crazy.
Addressed to Dave all seemed to confirm what many of us were thinking, that Dave had passed away after posting this final video. It's a channel that is probably as dark as it gets, a man documenting the literal thing that would end up taking his life. And it's so saddening seeing his addiction get to the point that even though he knew it was going to kill him, he just kept on smoking. It's almost as if this channel shows a man in a 5-year-long suicide.
Right.
Yeah, for real.
Although this channel is dark in and of itself, there's a whole other side to this all that might make things even more disturbing. And it's something that initially I had completely missed until I read the following comments. The thread reads, "Smoker with cancer, such a frail man in his late 40s. He loved to smoke." Someone then responds with, "Exactly correct. The man ruined his life. I love it." The original commenter then replies, "Me too. Love the damage that Dave inflicted on his lungs. So hot. I'm pretty much following in his footsteps. I have an insatiable craving for my smoke."
Yo, it's really these crazy type people out here in the world, yo. You really said that.
God.
Me too. Love the damage Dave inflicted on his lungs. So hot. I am pretty much following in his footsteps. I have an insatiable craving for my smoke. I can't believe it, y'all. This is crazy.
It's a alarming set of comments, as it's almost as if these people were sexualizing Dave's death and the fact that the smoking had caused this horrible cancer. And it's made even stranger when the commenter says he wanted to follow in his footsteps.
Exactly.
It's something that could have easily been chalked up to as a troll, until you realize that throughout many of his videos, even in the beginning, there were similar sexualized comments, with people saying stuff like, "Hot as hell, just missed some lung spit. Hot mate, be great for you to do more vids where we can hear the cough and the wheeze. Hearing that is the hottest thing of all. Keep smoking hard, fella." And
damn, like who are we in the world with?
He's like smoking hard. That's why we wonder sometimes who are we in the world with, yo. I see why sometimes people don't say they don't like humans. There's some weird people out here.
Right?
That's crazy. You getting turned on, or you just fascinated by somebody hurting themselves in lungs. That's making you hearing them wheeze and cough. That's making you feel like, oh, I want to smoke more. That's making me want to get a cigarette.
Oof.
hearing that is the hottest thing of all. Keep smoking hard, fella. And, he was starting to show his illness a bit here, with his sunken eyes and getting skinny. Cancer god. Love it when smokers' cancer starts to shrivel them up. Even in YouTube standards, this is a strange comment section, and it's clear that people were viewing Dave's cancer and his death as sexually appealing. And after watching this video, I then realized that Dave's entire channel was seemingly meant to be fetishized, as he posts videos of himself showing off his gut and his wheeze for his audience, knowing that they're enjoying it in a sexual way. He even at one point posted this fairly disturbing clip where he has someone wrapped in latex completely with a gas mask on, and then forces them to smoke. All the while he touches himself in a sexual way that I'm clearly not going to show.
Come on,
but this is definite fetish material.
Ain't no
and
damn.
further going off that, He even subscribed to and linked to a number of other smoking channels that were obvious fetish pages as well, that followed the same mold as him, and he went as far as to put these accounts on his home page. And of the 4 separate channels that he links to that showcase other obsessive smokers, none of them have uploaded in years, making me wonder if they suffered from a similar fate. But ultimately, it proves that Dave created this channel not simply as a hobby, but as a fetish as well. Now, having a smoking fetish is a fairly common thing, but it's easy to tell that this is very different than just that, as these people seem to be aroused by the most disturbing parts of smoking: the coughing, the wheezing, and the eventual cancer and death. Now, I've heard of fetishes where people like to watch others destroy their body, typically from overeating, to the point where they become obese and handicapped, along with others who fetishize the idea.
All of us see those type of things, and people on the TikToks and different stuff doing it, just eating all the time, crazy foods, and people commenting under there, and
keep eating,
keep going, and you look good, and love it. They're those type of people that want to see him sick and want to see him hurt, want to hear something bad, but they act like they love him. Yeah. As soon as something happens to him, they just move on to the next person.
They move on to the next person.
They get them out of here too. It's crazy, man.
People have really sick fetishes for real.
It's a fetish for everything out here that you can think of.
I know feet, but
it's some weird type stuff out here, man.
I've heard some sick fetishes now, so this one is up there with the one I've heard.
Just picture all those little different rooms and things that they got, man.
To the point where they become obese and handicapped, along with others who fetishize the idea of doing that to themselves. They like the feeling of their own body shutting down slowly over time, thanks to their destructive behaviors. Although this is something that I wasn't really sure actually existed. But watching this channel, I can't help but wonder if Dave was into something similar. Maybe he liked the idea of his body decaying due to his smoking, and that's why he did it so obsessively, and continued to do it even when his health began to fail. So maybe this was the end game all along with this fetish, but either way, it's dark no matter what, because on one hand, it may have been his overarching goal to end his life by way of cigarette smoking. But on the other hand, if it wasn't, then you just have a group of people who are sexualizing this man's cancer and ultimately his death. But judging by his descriptions and his frequent upload schedule, it's hard to believe that he wasn't at least aware of his audience, even posting videos especially for specific users who left comments making special requests. For his followers, Dave's passing was ultimately something they expected. But for our next channel, the disturbing mark that they would leave came out of nowhere.
For that next one star, man, self-love is important. Self-love. He went that long. He didn't love himself. For you to be doing something like that and just for views and for other people's entertainment.
A fetish too. Like you hear
all of them.
He was touching it. Like what?
All of them. That was weird.
Like that.
That was weird, man. That was crazy. They moved on to somebody else.
It was an account that featured sparse and practically unwatched content. The channel's name was Big Money T, and featured just a select few videos by a man named Trent Pashal. Over the course of the next 5 years, it seemed the thing that he would film most was his RC cars and family trips, showcasing his 2 young children, as well as his wife, Savannah. It was the type of content that someone puts on YouTube, so they can look back on and remember their good times with the family. The channel would remain active up until late October of 2020, when it would take the ultimate turn for the worst. Trent would upload a video titled simply by his daughter's full name, as the video was directed at both of Trent's children, as he apologized to them, further stating that this was their mother's fault and that he had caught her cheating.
I'm recording this because I want my daughter to know that I love you, Pascal. I'm so sorry that I've done this. I want you to know that you mean everything to me. I didn't choose this. Your mom chose this. She's been cheating on me for a long time. I didn't do nothing wrong to her.
It's a clip that you can tell is deeply personal and probably not something that should be posted for everyone to see, as at first many would likely assume that this was in regards to a potential divorce or something along those lines. But in actuality, what Trent was talking about was far more twisted. On October 21st, 2020, the very day that the video was posted, Trent would hide in the shower of his bathroom, waiting for his wife Savannah to come home. Once Savannah had entered the bathroom, Trent would jump out, pulling a gun and firing twice, hitting her in the stomach. Savannah would later pass away due to her injuries. Immediately after the murder, Trent would post this video to his children, apologizing for murdering their own mother, while at the same time blaming her for all this happening.
I put everything into this relationship. I have done nothing to your mom. I've never hit her. I've never hurt her. I've never called her names.
Throughout the video, Trent appears to cry on multiple occasions, although no tears actually fall.
Great.
I haven't done anything wrong.
Hit his whole fake crying.
I'm like, why me? My hair's a mess and I look horrible. Oh, sorry. Take these off.
And it comes across as completely emotionless, as he shows no remorse for killing his wife and the mother of his kids. It's also made all the more disturbing, as he's clearly more focused on his hair and his looks, all the whilst he swears up and down that he is a good man.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
I'm hurting so bad.
Where he at?
Where the tears at?
I didn't do nothing wrong to her. I provided what I could. I've done what I could for her. I've done nothing but good for her. And I've treated y'all good. I've done good things for y'all.
After the video would go live, Trent would then call Savannah's aunt to confess to his crime, and then take off from the home. Police would later find Trent at a local Walmart, where he would pull a gun, but before he could shoot, authorities would open fire, striking the man in 3 separate places. And though being in critical condition, he would go on to survive these injuries, and is currently awaiting trial.
Good, I'm glad he survived.
It's a shocking crime and an equally as shocking video, especially given the fact that it was addressed to his young children, who now are without their mother. I mean, the whole situation is just wrong. But there is one more detail that makes this video even more disturbing. Throughout this final post, Trent can be seen looking to the right very often in a clearly nervous manner, until the end when something catches his attention, causing him to grab the phone and run into a dark room before the recording would suddenly stop. And at first, I honestly thought that he was just nervous about the police coming and catching him. But in actuality, I don't think that that's the case. Instead, I think that his nervous looks to the side were being done in anticipation to his wife arriving at home. I say this because when he eventually gets up to hide, it sounds like someone had entered the house.
Love me like your own.
And when he walks into this dark room and shuts the camera off, you can clearly hear what seems to be the movement of a shower curtain.
Oh yeah.
This sound is definitely noteworthy, considering the fact that Trent had hid in his shower before killing his wife. So I personally believe that this whole video was premeditated, and rather than this being filmed right after the murder, he filmed this immediately before, as he likely shot and killed Savannah just moments after stopping the recording. It's a revelation that makes his demeanor all the more surprising, as he shows no remorse, regret, or even that much nervousness for that matter, despite knowing what he's about to do. The video itself quickly went viral, as the story became a national talking point, which led to YouTube stepping in and removing Trent's channel altogether, stating multiple community guideline breaches. However, today, this twisted clip can still be found circulating throughout the site. And as is the case with each of these 3 channels, the videos they have all left behind elicit that same uneasy feeling when you watch them back today, knowing the fate that would soon befall each of them. But out of all these channels, none of them quite match how visually creepy our final page is. The channel's name is Francine Dancer, And before I can even begin to describe her videos, just have a look for yourself.
Hold up. That's a lot of weird type.
Oh, I thought that was somebody standing there. That's a mannequin doll.
That was a clip taken from her 2010 video called Tomstat Blues 088.avi that plays out the bizarre scene of a cat stuffed animal playing a keyboard, as well as a lady named Francine playing the guitar and singing. But out of all the elements of this decade-old video, it's clear which one is the most concerning. Highlighted within this clip is this off-looking, lifelike figure standing nearly motionless.
I thought that was
However, there are certain moments where it appears to be moving, likely as a result of Francine dancing alongside it. It's unclear upon initial viewing what exactly this thing is, but the way it just stands there in such a limp manner implies that whatever it is, it's likely not alive. It's a figure that makes this video extremely unpleasant to watch, and as we're about to see, this wasn't the only clip that would feature it.
Come on.
In fact, in her very next upload, Francine gives us a closer look.
What?
What in the world? Ooh, that thing looks creepy.
It's something to me that appears completely unrecognizable. I mean, the figure does look very mannequin-like. However, this face is like no other mannequin I've ever seen. It looks dirty, almost.
It look dirty, but that part right there look real, like something in that thing, like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like no other mannequin I've ever seen. It looks dirty, almost decrepit. And to make things even darker, this thing appears to be hung by the ceiling. Francine would go on to post 4 total videos featuring this thing before abandoning the channel altogether, having gone unnoticed by the majority of the platform. Well, that was until just recently, when some of these clips were picked up and shared across TikTok, throwing the channel and its strange contents into the limelight. Without context, many felt frightened, with the majority looking to the comments for guidance as to what was happening within these videos.
Right.
And there, many would share the supposed story of Francine. The story goes that Francine used to be a star on TV before the partner she performed with eventually passed away, essentially ending the show that the two had made together, and thus ending Francine's lifelong dream of becoming an actress. This would cause Francine to suffer a mental collapse, leading her to steal the body before it was buried and hiding it within her home. Once there, she would film these videos to relive the show that they once had in a desperate showing of denial, until eventually police would intervene and take the body back, leading to the arrest of Francine. Now, normally, something as outlandish as this could easily be chalked up as an internet myth. But in actuality, someone would link to a separate video posted back in 2007, and in it we see her performing with a tall, lanky man who has the same body type as this figure. The figure is always shown wearing a bleach blonde wig, which one would imagine that if this man were to wear a similar wig, then the resemblance would certainly be there. It's a story that is extremely haunting, and if true, would certainly be one of the darkest internet mysteries found to date. But in actuality, it's really anything but. Just by doing some light research, it's revealed that Francine Dancer was in fact a star on TV, but not in the traditional sense. It seems that Francine had starred in a number of public access television shows in LA, where she would become somewhat of a household name thanks to these bizarre shows that she would put together. And these shows were very similar to what we see on her YouTube page, and not just from a content perspective. They are all similar because they both feature the same figure, And the show didn't just run more than a decade ago. It seems that it was actually active as of 2018. And within the clip, we can see Francine dance with not only that notorious lifelike mannequin, but with a new one as well. It's a revelation that completely disproves the myth that this thing was actually a corpse. A theory that baselessly spread around thanks to a few people trying to get a cheap scare out of it. But even though this is the case, what is the actual purpose of this?
Right.
What are we actually watching here?
What are we
Well, in other clips posted to YouTube, we see that this figure's name is actually Starry Dancer. It is essentially just a dressed up and painted mannequin. In one episode, Starry is even described as Francine's boyfriend. But ultimately, it seems pretty clear that this is all just an act. It's not an ARG or anything that's meant to be scary. It's just a bizarre, funny show that was really only made creepy due to its lack of context and false stories. And sure, the mannequin is still quite creepy, but the strangeness of it all has helped to propel Francine into a household name for many, while being completely harmless. There's always more to a YouTube channel, and whether it be in a positive or negative way, what we see is never really the whole story. And oftentimes, the pages that seem the scariest end up being the most harmless. It's the accounts that are hidden, buried in a sea of normalcy, that typically hold the darkest secrets. And after 3 installations of this series, I can confidently say that we're just getting started. And I can only imagine what we'll uncover next.
Oh yeah, we gotta keep it
Thank
going.
you to my gold tier patrons and my amazing god tier page.
We gotta do the next one.
That last one was definitely.
Oh, that been crazy though.
No, I mean, but the
that last one
was
with
creepy.
that. Yeah, that was.
They said it's supposed to be funny.
That was weird.
I think even with context, I probably put like, that's.
Yeah.
She got close up on that man.
That thing looked human like in the face and looked scary. But I think with the little boy and stuff, man, and him in that chimney, it was crazy.
That was sad.
All of those were crazy. I like these. This was a request. We gotta do the next one, man. Y'all get the views up on this one, man. Get them likes up. Show some support, man. We gonna keep it going, fam. We gotta get this family big over here, man, and get more content out, man. What other content y'all like, funny or whatnot? Drop them down in the comment section. We got Cast Geographic, all these things, man. You know we down for it. We watch it together, so. Drop it down below, man. You got anything for them?
Got nothing else for them.
Hey, y'all stay safe, snack up, have a nice night, a day. We catch you on next video.
Catch y'all next one.